There is a village in India where people check their shadows more carefully than we check our phones. Because in Bulan, a missing shadow does not mean darkness. It means someone has begun to disappear. In the summer, Gauri was 10 years old. The shadows started leaving. Bulan was a small village. Mud walls, neem trees, one stone well in the middle of everything. Every evening before the sun went down, the people came home. Not just themselves, their shadows too. The elders said, "As long as your shadow crosses the threshold with you, you are still whole." Gauri was 10. She noticed things. Not because she was looking for trouble, but because she could not help it. She watched her dada most carefully. Her grandfather, retired teacher, white kurta, walking stick that went tap-tap on the lane every morning. She watched his shadow the way you watch something you love, closely, without it knowing. One evening, it did not come home. Dada walked through the door, sat in his chair, smiled at her. But his shadow stayed outside. The doorstep was empty. Gauri looked at that empty step for a long time. Then she went to find Mai Riva. Mai Reva was the oldest woman in Bulan. She knew things the way old trees know things, without being able to explain how. She said, "There is a goddess called Chaya, goddess of shade, goddess of memory. Long ago, this village made a promise to her. We stopped keeping it." Gauri asked what would happen now. Mai Reva looked at the old shrine on the wall, at the faded shape of a goddess no one had prayed to in 40 years. She did not answer. By the next morning, it had spread. A woman at the well, a farmer in the square, a child in the lane. No shadow, none of them. And they did not know. They forgot things, names, faces, what they had been looking forward to. And they smiled more. That was what frightened Gauri the most. On the 4th day, Dada did not know her name. He looked at her from across the courtyard. He smiled. "Namaste, beti," he said, the way you greet a neighbor's child, politely, from a distance. Gauri did not look at his face. She looked at the ground where his shadow should have been. Then she found the oil for her lamp and waited for midnight. She left when the village was asleep. Not because she was brave, because there was nothing else left to do. And then she saw them. On the moonlit ground ahead of her, shadows moving without anyone to cast them, drifting the same direction, patient, like they knew the way. The flame of her lamp bent toward the old grove. There was no wind. The grove had been empty for 40 years. The trees had grown enormous. Their roots had broken through the old stone of the shrine. Inside, they were all there, every last one, standing in the shapes of the people they had left. A man holding the shape of a walking stick. And at the center of the grove, in the deepest dark between the oldest trees, something enormous was sitting. Not moving, not angry, grieving. understood what was needed. She had to name them. The real names, not what people were called. Who they were, what they carried. She named the farmer who was afraid of thunder and never showed it. The woman whose laugh made the whole lane feel lighter. The children, each one by one, the shadows rose and moved toward home. And when she had named everyone else, she came to Dada's shadow. She named the man who had taught a whole village to read, who walked to school in rubber sandals in the rain, who had a laugh that started in his eyes before it reached his face, who had called her Gauri Guddi since she was small enough to be carried. The shadow rose, and before it moved toward home, it turned. It looked at her. Then it went. By the time the sky began to lighten, the grove was empty. Gauri walked back through the lane in the first grey light. She could hear Bulan waking, a water pot, a door, Dada's voice somewhere, speaking to someone. The sounds of a village that remembered itself. She stopped and looked down. The sun was up. Light was falling on everything, the mud walls, the well, the cracked earth. She cast no shadow. She stood there for a moment. Then she stayed. Dada was at his doorstep by sunrise, walking stick in hand, looking at the sky with that particular look he had. When Gauri passed, he called out. "Gauri Guddi," he said. "You are up early." She stopped. She looked at him. She did not go to him, because she understood now that some things cannot go back to what they were. She smiled and walked on. That was a long time ago. Bulan is still there, if you know which road to take from the highway. The shadows are faithful again. The shrine lamp burns. No one is sure who started relighting it. And Gauri is still there too. The mothers tell their children, if Gauri looks at you too long, she is remembering you, holding it for safekeeping. And if she remembers you completely, you will never be able to leave. The village at noon. A single shadow in the square, small as a child. No one casting it. Still waiting.